thought, what kind of a king is this? Here he is dying and nobody comes to his aid. He has no army. He has no one to come and rescue him. Nevertheless, Jesus was true to his words when he said, I have conquered the world. And he prefaced that with the words, have no fear. That his followers did not need to fear that they would not have the things that he had promised them, nor to do the things that he had told them that they would be able to do in his name. So the question comes up then, how did he conquer the world? To all due intent and purposes, he was gone, and he had failed in being a champion for his Father, Jehovah. He conquered in three ways. Number one, he conquered by means of his faith. Number two, by his unswerving loyalty to his Father. And number three, by his full confidence in the word and purpose of Jehovah God. In the book of Hebrews, the 11th chapter and verse 1, this quality of faith that Jesus had in a huge degree is defined before us. Let's look at that. Faith defined in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. It says, faith is the assured expectation of things hoped for, the evident demonstration of realities though not beheld. So this faith that Jesus had was that Jehovah was going to give to him what he had promised. And he was going to accomplish what he had come to earth to do. That was, number one, to magnify or sanctify his Father's name, prove the devil the terrible liar that he is. And then number two, to give humans the opportunity to be able to live forever. Jesus knew that this had been accomplished or would be accomplished by his death. So in advance, knowing this was true, he had conquered the world. Now, verse 6 also in the book of Hebrews, the 11th chapter, a little bit more on the quality of faith. It says, moreover, without faith, it is impossible to please him well, for he that approaches God must believe that he is, and that he becomes the rewarder of those earnestly seeking him. So Jesus knew then that what he and his Father had talked about in the heavens prior to his coming here to earth were going to take place exactly the way that they had talked about. And that there were things that Jehovah was going to give to him that would be actually more than he had before he left the heavens. And of course, we are a part of that extra that Jesus got, especially those who have the hope of living in the heavens. Jesus received a kingdom or a kingship over the Christian congregation. And today that congregation is over 6 million strong. And so he's really been blessed by Jehovah for that, but he knew, he had absolute confidence in the fact that Jehovah was going to do every single thing that he said. And we too can have this same strength and faith that Jesus did in the fact that we too can conquer the world, because we have, according to Hebrews chapter 12 and verses 1 through 3, this great cloud of witnesses surrounding us that prove that Jehovah is always true to his word. Never failed. Not one word out of all the words that Jehovah has ever uttered have ever failed. And they won't fail for us either. In the book of Revelation, the 12th chapter, and this time verse 11, a very encouraging point is made that applies to all of the disciples of Christ Jesus, those who have the hope of living in the heavens and those that have the hope of living forever here on the earth. And it has to do with our conquering. It says in verse 11, that's Revelation 12, and they conquered him because of the blood of the Lamb and because of the word of their witnessing, and they did not love their souls even in the face of death. Now, first of all, who is they? It says that they conquered. Well, of course, this would have reference, because it's in the Greek scriptures of the Bible, primarily to that group of 144,000 who are going to be ruling as kings and priests with Christ in the heavens. But in the 10th chapter of John, it tells us that Jehovah has others who do not have the hope of living in the heavens. That's those of us here today, primarily, who will live forever on earth. And what did he say about them? They would become one flock under one shepherd. We would all be unitedly disciples of Christ, and unitedly we would be given the same reward, the reward of living forever, some in the heavens and many, many more here on the earth. So that's the they. Who's the him? And they conquered him. That would be the person that had just been booted out of heaven in John's vision. That was Satan the devil, as he was cast down to the vicinity of the earth, and he was with all of this anger, and he was trying to stop Jehovah's people for making Jehovah's name known, putting forth every effort that he could, coming at us with every possible tool that he could use, every bait that he could sum up in order to get us off track. And what did John see in his vision? That we, along with our anointed brothers and sisters, had conquered Satan the devil. But for us to do that, we too need to have that same kind of a strength that Jesus had amidst the troubles that surrounded him.